Meeting started tonight. It's the Jefferson Township Board of Trustees work session via Zoom. Today is Tuesday, February the 16th, 2021. The time is 6:08 p.m. Let's get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time, I'd like to have a moment of silence to honor our military, our firefighters, sheriff deputies, and road workers as they serve the community here and abroad. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee McGuire.
Present.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Present.
Trustee Mann.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, we have quorum. The only thing different from the agenda tonight, Captain Flagg would like to give his report to the Board of Trustees, basically because it's been a long day dealing with the snow. Captain Flagg, do you want to go ahead and give your report now?
Sure, that'd be fine. Got a little bit different format that I'm going to use for 2021. But overall, our crime increased by 26% compared to January of last year. Just to keep this in perspective, that's plus 9 calls. So that's the number of calls different from last year to constitute that 26% increase. They're up 8% plus 3 calls over December of 2020. Our Part 1 violent crimes decreased 100%. We had 2 last year. We had none for this period this year. December of 2020, over that month, we're down 4. Part 1 property crimes increased 33% over January of 2020, and they're down 37% over December last month, or the last month of last year. Part 2 violent crimes increased 27%. That's 3 more than the year before, than January of 2020. It increased 133% over December of 2020, which is an increase of 8 calls. Looking at the statistics, that's looks like it's coming in as pretty much domestic related type things. Probably a little bit of the weather, a little bit of the pandemic catching up there. Crimes against society decreased 40%. Over January of 2020 and increased 20% over December of 2020. Areas along 35 corridor and the State Route 4 corridor remain the most active back into the plats that sit along those routes. During the month of January, MCSO was contacted about a couple different community concerns, the first being speeding vehicles in the corridor of 1300 to 1600 Infirmary. Jefferson Township crews have increased moving and stationary radar in this area to address those concerns. When the weather improves, our plan is to get the speed trailer out. It's right now undergoing some winter maintenance, but when the snow clears and we can find a suitable place to set it down there, we're going to deploy that as well. We've had several traffic stops conducted in the area as a result of that. We continue to address concerns in the Birdland, Big Bend Plat pertaining to dogs at large and cars speeding in that area. We've logged over 80 patrols in the last month and a half in that area as a result, and we've responded to several additional calls for service in that area. Nothing major to note, though. On January 21st, 2021, our first watch crews in Jefferson, our Jefferson Township car, made a traffic stop in the 6100 block of West 3rd Street. Had a front passenger in that vehicle that exited and fled on foot. from them. County crews responded to the area to assist in locating the suspect. They did find him between some houses. A short foot pursuit ensued, and that subject was taken into custody. One of the crews involved was injured, and he's going to be out for a while, getting some things patched up in his shoulder from where he took a tumble going after the suspect. On January 21, 2021, the second watch crews made an arrest on an individual on Infirmary Road in connection with some stolen ATVs. That case is scheduled to go to the grand jury sometime here in the near future, in the next month or so. During January, we got an indictment handed down on our suspect from the July 2020 felonious assault involving the firearm where he shot the individual in the Bricker Plat. Additional charges of intimidation of a witness and bribery were approved against that individual, so that continues to work through the court system. Traffic concerns during the month of January. We had 12 crashes that we responded to. All of them were property damage. That is an increase of 20 crashes when compared to January of 2020. 5 of them were hit and runs. None were pedestrians. Like I said, no injuries to anybody. It was all property damage, and one of those was an impaired driver. Saturdays were the busiest day of the month for the crashes. Failure to maintain reasonable control was the most common causative factor in 6 of the crashes, and State Route 4 was the most prevalent roadway, accounting for 5 of the crashes. 5 hit and runs reported during January. One of the hit and run crashes was solved with the driver being identified and issued a citation. The remaining 4 remain under investigation. Deputies made 56 traffic stops during January, issued 6 citations for moving violations, 2 speed citations, 4 driving under suspensions, 3 non-moving, and 1 citation for impaired driving. Under environmental crimes, we had no roadways cleaned in Jefferson due to the ongoing suspension of the inmate worker programs. We had a suspect that was identified and charged with dumping trash at the abandoned school at 120 Knox. Charges were filed with Western Division Court, and that suspect was convicted of those charges. We have 2 felony dumping cases that we're still working on. They're working their way through the Common Police Court now. They are scheduled for the next hearings in February for both of those. Just some quick monthly stats. We had 704 calls for service in the month of January, generated 117 reports. We called forensic services to our calls 36 times, made 7 felony arrests, 15 misdemeanor arrests, 8 911 calls, checked 33 alarms, had 4 B&Es, 1 burglary, 14 domestics, the 1 DUI that I mentioned. We covered 2 stolen vehicles in the Jefferson Township area, had 10 juvenile complaints, 15 mental health related calls, 3 neighbor disputes, 19 peace officer requests, conducted 58 PHCs, and responded to 38 suspicious subject, situation, or vehicle calls. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Captain Flagg?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Okay, at this point, we're going to get back to the agenda. First up is old business, 2020 meeting minutes. Does anybody want to discuss 2020 meeting minutes?
Well, we need to get them passed. They're there.
Anything else? Okay, next on the agenda, we have, we need to schedule a work session to go through the final budget that we need to adopt before April 1st. Does anybody have suggestions on when you want to meet?
Next work session.
So the work session at the March 1st meeting, is that what you're proposing?
Yes.
March 2nd.
March 2nd, excuse me, yes. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with the 2nd.
I'm good.
Okay. Tracy, is that good for you?
What do you guys need for that meeting?
I think we're gonna have the final deliberations on the final budget numbers so we can lock it in.
And so we're just gonna talk, and then we'll do the numbers then, and then we'll come back with, the numbers to vote by that same regular meeting or the next meeting in March.
I think we need to discuss the budget one more time and then have it on the agenda for approval at the mid-month regular meeting.
The third meeting in March, correct? The third week in March, I'm sorry, correct?
Correct.
Which would be the 16th. Okay.
Does that timeline work for trustees? So we'll have, it'll be on the work session for March the 2nd, and then the final vote on this is gonna be on the 16th of March.
I'm good with that.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead. That works good. Okay. Next on the agenda is the state auditor visit. Does anybody have anything on that?
Trustee McLaughlin, you want to say something?
Very informative. I'm gonna be involved and get educated. It was a good meeting.
They want to start the audit, not necessarily on site. It was Amanda, Sylvia, Timothy, I can't remember his last name. And then it was Trustee McLaughlin and I were at the meeting. They want to start the audit. I think they want to get it started by the end of in a couple of weeks. And they want to get it done by April 15th. That's what they're shooting for.
Yep.
They sent everybody out. They should have sent you guys out an email. There should have been, I think everybody was on this last email. It was sent out about 4 o'clock, 4:10. I think all the trustees and Steve, yes, were on that email. So you guys might want to look at that. Basically, I don't know if they're going to give more of a summary, if that's all they're going to give, but I know she had said initially in her first email, that she would give a summary if you guys couldn't make the meeting. And I don't know if this is that summary or there'll be another email out.
Okay, so you and Mike were the only 2 people that attended the meeting today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else on the audit? Okay, on the agenda in tonight's meeting, I put in there a resolution to, we need to formally adopt our meeting schedule for 2021. That got tabled at the closeout meeting. Everybody already has a copy of the schedule. It's in your, it was sent out on December the 21st, and it's page 20 of a four-part, very large emails. But basically, it's a page with the calendars, basically following our tradition of first and third Tuesdays of the month. But basically, we need to get this adopted so that otherwise we're going to have to announce our meetings individually. Basically, what I'm going to do is assign a resolution number to the sheet that was in the packet and use that as the resolution for this. Any questions? Does anybody want to add to this schedule?
Are you just saying for the regular meeting when there's zoning meetings and audit committee meetings also included with that?
This has basically the regular meetings and the work sessions built into it.
I thought there was two other ones. I don't know. I'll have to look and pull it up again, but I thought there was also the zoning meeting dates too. At least the zoning, if not the audit committees too.
Yeah, this was the one because it's the meeting. I guess this is something that I caught, and I just I didn't look beyond that. Just getting ready for this here. I mean, that's something that we take care of our regular meetings and work sessions since we're already rolling the year with these meetings. In the morning, I'm going to hold the copy of it. I print it off for our emails. Any other old business, trustees? New business, Fire Station 60, the bay heater repairs and maintenance. Unmute, Chief Wright.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Boyle, Mechanical Solutions has submitted a proposal for $4,488, and that is to put a new control head on the heater that's on the far wall, outside wall, replace some of the tubing behind the control head because there is about a 4-inch hole on the top of that tubing. When it's on, you can see the glow from the reflectors that reflects the heat down. And then they're going to put that control head, that good one, on the one that is above the ambulances, because that one has been off for several weeks now. It'll kick on and kick off, kick on and kick off. So instead of putting 2 new control heads up there, I told them just to move the one old control head over, put it on the one that's above the ambulances, and then put the new one on above the engines.
Chief Wright, have you sent copies of that out to the trustees and administrator?
I think the administrator's got one, because we talked about that. We got a purchase order for that, for the repairs. But I don't believe I've sent one to the trustees. With that one running now on the outside wall, it is cold on the inside. It's not like it was, but we can survive.
So is this something that you need us to, basically a simple approval in the regular meeting tonight?
Yes, sir.
You just need approval from the trustees to move forward?
Yes.
Okay. If you would make a note of that and bring it up during your regular report or during
Okay.
new business in a regular meeting, and we can do a simple vote to vote that out.
Okay.
Trustees, are you okay with that?
I am, yes.
Okay. So we will, we'll put that to a vote during the regular meeting tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, looks like Chief Wright, the second item on new business is the rescue tools, or actually it's Wolf, open the rescue tools.
The administrator has that package.
Good evening, trustees, fiscal officer, and staff and residents. The township received 2 grants in 2020. One was for a brand new ambulance. The second,
Steve, can't understand you.
Back up about 3 feet and try it again.
can you hear me? Testing.
Go to your microphone settings and lower the output.
I'm at 9 now. Can you hear me?
Try whispering a little bit, and it won't distort so much.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
That's a little better.
Okay. Chief, why don't you explain what this is?
Steve, I can't understand you. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me better at all?
Now try it.
Okay. Chief, can you explain a little bit about the tools itself?
Yes. The tools that's in question, we received a grant for them. It is auto extrication, not only for automobiles, but it's for any type of vehicle, excuse me, or farm equipment. There is several different types of extrication equipment that we will be receiving. Also, there is several different sizes of airbags, because with the semi-traffic and box truck traffic there is, if one of them would happen to tip over or partially tip, we can use the airbags to stabilize the vehicle. And we can do the same thing for automobiles if a person's pinned under one. Struts, we've got 2 of them ordered. The struts will stabilize the vehicle if it's on its side, so the firefighters and medics can get in there and work on the people if they're trapped inside, and they won't have to worry about the vehicle tipping one way or the other. The extrication is jaws, cutters of different sizes, different strengths, and I don't think there's anything that we won't be able to handle. And like I said, we did get this with a grant.
Can you hear me now? Trustees, can you hear me?
It's still really distorted. Try whispering. I think that will help.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We got an RFP for quotes. We received 1 quote by the deadline, and I have that with me. We're not allowed to open it up till the regular meeting at 7 o'clock. So I cannot open it at the 6 o'clock meeting because we advertised that we'd be open at the 7 o'clock meeting. At which time the fire chief will evaluate the bid or the proposal and come back with a recommendation at the next meeting about whether to accept, reject, or alter the proposal. And so we have a second grant for a brand new ambulance that also will have a deadline at the next meeting. So we'll be doing this twice. But this is a standalone grant. It's got a local match. So we have to have, we have money in the budget for, money was put into the budget for 2021 to cover the match. And the fee for Mickey Smith and first responders. So in the meeting at 7 o'clock, we will open the bid, read the name of the company and their bid amount. And that'll be part of the public record. But there will be no vote by trustees tonight. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have anything to add to the discussion on the extrication equipment? Okay, any other new business, trustees?
And Trustee McGuire. I pulled the resolution, and it does, the one for the meeting. So it doesn't have a cover page on it, it just has at the bottom a resolution I'm gonna put on. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, since we're just plugging in calendar dates, I was just gonna put a resolution number on what was prepared.
But I need to add, there's no signature, so I need to add signature lines on this too.
Okay,
Is that what
All
you're
right.
trying to do?
yeah, we'll have that in the mailbox for signature. We're gonna need to go in and sign anyway, so.
That's what you want me to put on this, then, signature lines, and if, you know, whether you approve it or not, who approved it and all that, because none of that's on here.
Correct.
It does say resolution. And then, like I said, there's 2 other sheets after it. One says the BZA meetings and one's the audit committee. Do you want to put all those into that one, or?
Well, if you've got the audit committee, since you kind of chair that meeting, if you're comfortable with those dates and want to include this all as a package deal, The BZA, we can do the BZA, we can do all these, get our
Okay,
meetings
so I
plugged
just want
in.
to let you know, that's what I pulled. They were
Okay.
together before, so that's what I pulled, so when the resolution comes in a regular meeting,
Okay,
that was all I have.
thank you. Any other new business, trustees?
Yeah, I was just curious, what's our salt situation while we're out of salt? I went to go by there again today and there's still no salt. Nobody's been in the road garage, the gate ain't moved. Just curious when we'll get our next salt shipment. It's hard to do roads without salt.
Mr. Wolf, do you have an update on the salt order?
Yes, talking to Pat Bruder last night during a snowstorm, they're 3.5 weeks out. I know, and it's 50% of what they started the snow season with, and I was quite upset over it. We have a contract through SWAPC, Swap4G, which is the city of Baldwin, Montgomery County, and some other entities like Jefferson. We got a quote 50% more than a year ago. And they were to deliver between 5 and 7 days from the point of, business days from the point of order. That isn't occurring. So we have a backup plan with the county engineers providing a limited amount of salt to us in a cooperative agreement. We had salt for last night if we needed it, and we're waiting on those supplies to come. So we're at the mercy of supply and demand. And we're the smallest one, or one of the smallest entities on the list. They still should be honoring our fiber, those days. We should have had the salt before the snow hit. But unfortunately, we did not.
I had a hard time understanding you. Basically, when's the salt coming? Can you whisper it?
The contract says 5 to 7 days from the date of order, but that's not happening with Cargill. But that's the agreement through Swap4G. And when I hear the engineer and his staff talk about them having a huge demand, then we can't do anything about it. We just wait. But we have contingency plans in place. I had plans for last night, including the ODOT, with an agreement with them as well. So we're not going to go without